Hello, welcome to Presqu'île Provincial Park. My name is Sydney and I am a naturalist with the Friends of Presqu'île Park. Today I want to take you on a virtual field trip along our Marsh Boardwalk Trail. On our virtual field trip today, we're going to explore a very important question. How are animals and humans connected? Specifically, why do humans need the marsh and the animals who live here? Can you think of any reasons why humans might need animals? Even though we don't live in the marsh, there are lots of ways that animals help us. Just like there are lots of ways that we can help them. As we travel around the marsh today, we're going to talk about 3 different animals and how they can help humans. Let's go. Here we are in Presqu'île's marsh. Did you know that Presqu'île has one of the largest marshes on Lake Ontario? Now, you might be wondering, what is a marsh? Well, a marsh is an area that is wet almost all year round and has a lot of emergent plants. Now, I know that's a big word, but emergent means plants that are rooted in the water instead of in the soil. Then they grow up out of the water, just like other plants grow out of the soil. Marshes are special places because they're home to lots of different animals and plants. Can you think of any animals that might live in our marsh? Maybe we'll get to see some today on our walk. Let's go see what we can find. The first animal I want to talk to you about today likes to fly around the marsh. They can sometimes be spotted sunbathing on the boardwalk. Can you guess the animal that I'm thinking of? That's right, I'm talking about dragonflies. Have you ever seen a dragonfly before? Over 30 different types of dragonflies have been spotted here at Presqu'île. Dragonflies come in all sorts of colors and sizes. Can you think of any ways that dragonflies can help people? Well, let me tell you a little bit about dragonflies, and then maybe you can help me figure out how they're helpful to humans. Dragonflies are expert flyers. They can fly up, down, side to side, and even hover, just like a helicopter. They catch their prey in the air using their legs, and sometimes they'll eat when they're flying. All around me, in the water, there are baby dragonflies. We call them dragonfly larvae. The larvae are predators as well, and they hunt baby insects using a special adaptation. Baby dragonflies have a special jaw that they use to grab their food. They approach slowly, then they shoot their jaw out like this. This allows them to catch their prey by surprise. When a baby dragonfly is ready to grow up, it climbs out of the water and onto the stem of a plant. Then it breaks out of its own skin, kind of like a cocoon. Once its new wings are nice and dry, it takes to the skies. Dragonflies love to eat insects. And do you know what their favorite food is? Mosquitoes. Dragonflies will eat baby and adult mosquitoes. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not a huge fan of mosquitoes. Now that I've told you a little bit about dragonflies, can you figure out how dragonflies can help people? Dragonflies help humans by eating pesky mosquitoes and black flies. When we have a healthy marsh, we have lots of dragonflies, and they help to keep the mosquito population down. So, next time you see a dragonfly, don't forget to say thank you. Let's keep going to our next stop and see how other animals in the marsh can help us. If we look closely in the water below us, we might be able to see the next animal that we're going to talk about. Hey look, there's a frog right there. I'm pretty sure it's a bullfrog. Our marsh is home to a few different species of frogs, and they are all important. Does anyone know why frogs might be important for humans? How can they help us? Well, this one is a little bit trickier. They are pretty fun to watch, and sometimes fun to try to catch. Let me tell you a little bit about frogs. Frogs are a part of a special group of animals called amphibians. Amphibians breathe through their skin instead of using lungs like you and me. And their skin needs to be wet to do this, so this is why they're usually found near water, like here in the marsh. Since they breathe through their skin is very sensitive to chemicals, like the ones we find in sunscreen, bug spray, and other chemicals that might be in our water. They can get sick if the water is polluted with chemicals. So frogs can help humans by acting as an indicator species. They can tell us whether our quality of water here at the marsh is healthy. They can also help us see what impacts we might be having on their environment. If you see frogs in a marsh, you know that the water is clean and healthy. However, if there are no frogs, there might be a problem. Our next stop is right ahead. Let's walk really slowly and listen to the sounds of the marsh. Maybe we'll run into some new friends, like these guys over here. All right, the last animal that I want to talk about today lives in the water beneath my feet. These animals have hard shells and they don't move very fast. As you may have guessed, I'm talking about turtles. Here at Presqu'île, we have 5 different species of turtles, but the most common turtle that you might find here is a snapping turtle. Our marsh is very large, so it can be hard to find the turtles in the marsh because they have so many places to hide. But if you visit Presqu'île in the spring or the summer, you might see a turtle crossing the road or laying her eggs on the side of the road. Does anyone have any ideas how snapping turtles might help humans? Snapping turtles love to eat dead things. Now, that sounds kinda gross to us, but snapping turtles don't mind at all. They love eating dead things. Now, snapping turtles are a part of the marsh cleanup crew. They help to keep the water clean by eating dead and sick animals. And since our drinking water comes from Lake Ontario, the snapping turtles are helping to keep the water clean for us to drink. Snapping turtles help to keep the marsh clean and healthy, which helps us and the other animals that live here too. All right, we're almost at the end of our tour. Up ahead, we have one more tower where we can get another great view of our marsh. Let's go see. Today, we looked at some of the ways that animals here in the marsh can help humans. We talked about dragonflies and how dragonflies can help humans by eating those pesky mosquitoes and black flies. Then we talked about frogs and how they help humans by teaching us about our water and letting us know if the water is clean and healthy. Finally, we talked about snapping turtles and how they help to keep the water clean by eating dead things. These are only a few of the animals that live here in our marsh. From our short walk today, we can see that there are lots of reasons why we should protect animals and their habitats. Here at Presqu'Île, we are a provincial park, which means our marsh is protected. But maybe where you live, there might be an area that needs help. Remember, we can help the animals just like they help us. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys had fun exploring the marsh with me. We hope to see you here at Presqu'Île in person very soon. Bye everyone!